Well, welcome back, everybody, to the 2025 Derby City Classic. This is round number 9. This is the one pocket division. And as you see on your screen, we've got two world-class players. Joshua Filler versus Anthony Meglino. It is lag for the break. It is a race to 3. Brush over the rules real quick. 3-foul rule is in effect. 3 consecutive fouls is a loss of game. The first person to make 8 in their designated pocket, and that is 8 of any ball, solid stripe, doesn't matter, in their designated pocket, will win the game. No jump cues allowed. If you scratch, a ball will either be owed or spot up. And then you probably ask, well, how do we know which pocket is their designated pocket? Well, I'm about to explain that to you. Josh Filler breaking from the right, his pocket will be in the top left. That's typically automatic. I am your host, Scott Frost. Thank you all for tuning in. So Filler immediately laying down what I would call a very good break. The 13 low and hovering. The 12, a big problem. He can come off the 6. Is the line clear to get between the 9 and 12? Oh, and I like the way he played that. He played it with speed, knowing all along he was going to get to the back of the 13, which also removed it from Filler's pocket. So that was quite effective. Not to mention, he got the green 6 to his side of the table. Immediately, I look at the 4. Can he clip off of it and get behind the 11 and 2? Requires a thin hit. Might be able to do the same thing with the 13, but you want to keep the 13 low. Very good control. Can Anthony dig behind the 13 here? I don't think so. Yeah, he's immediately looking to take a foul, and as I touched on in the opening here, if you take a foul, you just go back a ball. If you don't have any, you go to a -1. In this format, if both players happen to have a -1, it is a wash, meaning they'll just go back to 0. Yeah, really aggressive there. A huge part of the bottom edge of that ball to scratch off of, really, right? Even if you catch the half point of that ball, cue ball is always going to track to the corner. It's a very dangerous hit there. I think you'd like to have that one back because you don't want the man at the table with ball in hand behind the line. Most likely going to start off with the 1. Started off with the 9, opens everything up. You can always go to the 1 later. Never going to argue the way this guy runs the balls. Does the 315 play to his pocket later on in the rack? Does it play now? I mean, there's no reason, unless he felt real good about it. Gonna pick off what he can. Can come up to the 1 now if he'd like. Just doesn't really want to fall into no man's land on the 12. Carry some type of an angle here. Four does play from the underneath. most likely. Wiggle the 5 or the 15 open from there. Yeah, we always seem to find the rail on that shot. Just going to take what the table gave him there. I think it's pretty mature play. Don't try to force anything and miss the ball. Now it's all about sticking and moving unless he wants to be aggressive, and he is aggressive. Rule of thumb in one pocket is once you get a big lead, you want to protect that lead. Taking chances can let your opponent back into the game. Now, taking a look at the 3 and 15 again. This could dictate whether he plays the 5 or not. I don't feel like this is the right shot. He might be pushing the envelope a little bit. Did great with the cue ball. Actually hit it quite well. Yeah, the cue ball comes out a little bit more. Anthony's probably got a pretty good look at the 6. It's never the wrong shot if you can execute it, obviously. Wondering if he's looking at the 3-15 banking into the back of the 5. Could he carry him towards the 2 at the same time? I think the 8's in the way of that, but I think he's got to throw the 15 upwards a little bit, so I don't know exactly what's going to happen here. I don't think he does either. Now swerving to the 5. Needs to get through this ball well, or you will leave a cross corner. Cue ball can end up in the pile if you hit it right. Oh, that'll work. Gonna do something here with the 11, probably just stick. Now we got to the 14. This is the only angle I have to work with, guys. It's not terrible. Don't punish me too bad. So we could go back to the 5 ball that Josh banked. That ball was always working for him if he'd have done something low with the pile, especially with a 6-0 ball lead. But now Anthony's worked his way into a position where he could possibly earn a shot. I can't tell if Josh can get to the 6 at all. If he can even get to the left side of the 6, he could pocket it into the right side pocket and just come one rail down below the 11. Here, somewhere towards the top right corner. This is okay as well. Just biding time, though. I think he's going to be in more trouble. So we see how things transpire after a few innings, whether you shoot the right or wrong shot. Okay, this is the shot he played. Well, he's given up a cross corner on the 8 at minimum. Definitely not picking on Filler, but you got to wonder, obviously, if he'd have made the 5 ball bank, things would have been different now. Meglino's earned a look at something good here. He's going to be on the board. Did he have a plan after the 8 is the question. Instead of just rolling that bank forward, would it have been worthwhile to just stun or stop to get a little closer to these balls? So now this might be a little dangerous.
Yeah, let him think about it.
One comes up. Filler scratching his head for good reason. Look at this. Now 7 balls in play for Meglino. Josh would like to get him below that stripe, which I believe is the 11. Can you see the 3? I think you have to press here. If not, one of the stripes. No time now to push away. Filler leading 6 balls to 0. Rule of thumb: when you're behind, stay aggressive. When you're ahead, protect the lead. Looking to see if 2 passes the 6. I don't believe it does. So anywhere down here by this left diamond on the bottom rail is okay. You just want to get this 3 close to apply pressure. Could use a good rub, but I believe he's just got there as far as 6 is concerned. Oof, very, very difficult to defend against something aggressive for Meglino after this shot. Yeah, very tough for me to even call anything. Can you see enough of the 11 to just punch forward? Is he considering just nudging the 2 forward and wedging him behind the 6? The problem there is that Anthony can do the same thing right back to you. It's not going to get any better. Well, he's got a good look at the 14 and actually a really good look at winning this game, quite possibly. He needs all the balls but 1. And he's got the most important one down. Looking to see if the 11 passes. If it doesn't, you can manufacture something to get on the stripe in front of the 11. I'm also here to try and teach or help. My goodness, he got very quick right there. Anthony with a little bit of a different style as far as his takeaway. He's got more of a pause in the back of the backswing versus at the front of the cue ball, which can allow that back arm to tighten up and get a little quick. But he does quite well with it. Yeah, look at this. Wanted a little rub on what I believe is the 12. And the ball that Anthony just missed, I believe he was cheating it a little bit. Just kind of caught him off guard there. It's the ones we take for granted that we miss the most in this challenging game. Yeah, I don't know if it's time now. Is he looking to two-rail the 6? Just cross the cue ball over here to the right side of the table. If the kiss isn't on, I can't fault him for attacking. And he might be on a little bit of a tilt mode due to the ball he just missed, which he knows could have easily got him back into this game. Not a bad hit. Not a bad hit. Kept him in play. Tell you what, if the 11 was a tick higher, Filler might consider playing the carom. Still might. With an outside ball, knocking that stripe upwards and spinning the 11 towards his pocket. Yeah, I don't blame him there. Turned out okay. Can you cross the 6? There is a gap there between the cue ball and the 6. He is not left-handed, therefore the reach would be awkward. It is awkward. You almost need to be standing here at the base of the table, nearest to us, in order to chop that 6 to the top right corner. He's trying to spin out of it, which I think is more difficult. One thing that Anthony is very, very good at is working hard and trying. What he might make up for in natural talent, well, there's no doubt, it's effort. A lot of players gifted in other ways. Anthony definitely gifted mentally in the game and gifted with work ethic, if that makes any sense. He's looking to chip the 2 over and just come back down table. I wouldn't be too afraid of leaving Josh the 6. I would much rather leave him the 6 than the 11. The 11 can be free. I don't know if the cue ball got over enough to where Josh could shoot it. I don't think so. Just going to chip the 11 over 2 rails towards the 6 and come back down. We're going at the 11 now. And that just forces Anthony to defend. I like 2-rail kicking behind the 11 here with a high ball. You can really get away. Here, where does the cue ball finish? And where does the 11 finish? Just a soft 2-rail kick behind the 11 here with a high right ball. Sends the 11 over past the 10. Might leave the 6 now for sure. Wow. Cue ball really finished in a good position. Still going to shoot at 6. Just short. Is he going to leave a bank? Landed pretty awkward. He's looking to cross this. Just want to protect against the 11 as much as you can here. It's probably all about leaving the cue ball right there on the rail. I don't believe he played a 2-rail the 11 towards the 6. I think he just kind of lost the cue ball a little bit there. No broken bones. Can you 1-rail the 11 though and just miss the side pocket here with maybe a high inside ball? Looking to roll the 3 in. I'm not against it by any means. Just another ball in play. And I like what he did there, going rail first. I tell you what, the shot Josh just played is much more difficult to hit that ball square with a high inside ball than it looks. He hit it very well. Really have to put a lot of effort into judging the spin and the pace. If you hit the 11 a little bit off center, it's easy to scratch or catch it too thin. So very effective hit there. Anthony evaluating. Can you just 2-rail the 11 towards your pocket? Not hard. Just miss the 6. Lay the cue ball back down there on the bottom rail. Or from our end, the top rail. Just a little bit of a low outside ball. Yeah, like so. Want to catch the 6. I don't think it's the end of the world. So we can see how hard Anthony is fighting. That is a big credit to him. If he didn't miss that ball that was basically straightforward, he would be deep into this game. Filler knows he can play. One of, if not Florida's best, is Meglino. Could just slow roll the 11 up toward the 2. Josh isn't really a passive style player. You know, just slow roll it to the left side of the 2, I guess. Come off the rail and kind of double him up there. Don't think he's got to hit it too hard to where he sells the 15 out. Might sell the 6 out, but I mean, that's just a chance you've got to take. Yeah, look at this. Okay. Maybe tried to do a little too much. I get what he was trying to do there. Just knock the 11 up and down. I think he was always concerned about some type of a kiss, though. Filler might have gotten away with this a little bit. No angle, per se, to get on the 10. And needs to carry there. I think you want another couple rotations out of that, because now this becomes extremely thin. The cue ball will get hot. I don't know, I'm just thinking about it. I feel like if Anthony could work on getting rid of that little hitch in the back, maybe putting it more towards the front once he's dialed into the cue ball, can make a huge difference in his total transition. I think the 2-railer on the 6 is probably okay. Might lose the cue ball a little bit. You just don't want to catch the 6 too thin. It's going to require quite a bit of outside. I don't think it needs any low. You just want to hit this ball heavy with an outside ball. Okay, hit it with pace and just swung around. How'd he do? How did he do? What a great shot. Shot a lot of these guys play nowadays. If they miss it, the 6 does clear out. So that's why he hit it at the speed at which he hit it. Can he avoid the kiss on the 2-railer here? I think he can. Probably going to come long this ball. Double ugh. A little painful. I didn't know if he could avoid the kiss, but I assumed if he shot it that he felt like he could. Yeah, Filler never going to pass that cut shot up. Just hit it a tick thin. I believe he can take this out. He might double kiss it. He needs the 6 to glue to the rail there. It's not going to happen. Filler, with his first real opportunity in quite some time to take game number 1. Wow, he's got it way heavy. This tends to happen over time if you don't have a good look at your pocket for 10, 12, 13 innings. Sometimes the stroke gets a little off pace. Yeah. Okay. Just a miss hit there, and I don't believe Josh will miss hit this one. Filler takes game number 1. 1-0. And it will be Meglino's break. It is alternate break in this race to 3. Shout out to the sponsors. Diamond Pool Tables, the most consistent and best pool table on the planet, in the player's opinion. Aramith balls, there is no second best. They are the best ball in the world. Also, player's opinion. Last but not least, Simona's cloth. There also is no second to the Simona's cloth. The Tour Blue, something everybody's using nowadays. I'll tell you what, if you haven't used it, give it a try. The Shark Gray is also a great color. For my sensitive eyes, it's even better than the Tour Blue. A lot of the major events outside of the United States is using the Shark Gray, such as some of the Matchroom events, the Mosconi Cup, many others.
Perfect.
Well, he's got one on layaway, as we call it. That is the 5. And I think he's got the cue ball up enough to where it's going to be very tough for Josh to swerve around the 2 and just hold. Can he go rail first? Softly. Nicely judged. Right into the back of the 7. Looking at the 4-2 combination, the problem is I don't see any future with position unless he thinks he can go forward. Does the 4 kiss the 2, though?
Okay. Yes, sir. I think
All right, he's going to go forward, so he can get position. I'm wondering if he can miss the kiss. The kiss wasn't even close. So that tells me the shot was on much better than it looked. Just a little bit of a mishit. Be shocked if Filler doesn't bank at this 4. He is left-handed. Unless he sees something straightforward with a good rip with the 4 and 2. Looks to me like he can bank the 4, but maybe it's deeper than I think with this angle that we're looking at here. He's just so good at executing. Puts all of his focus into the cross. Yeah, you've got to make him a favor to get it down, and then he's got the 8. He's definitely giving it a good look. And he found his way out of it pretty good here. I think Anthony's gonna be, is he kicking to the back of the 8 here? Or can he catch a piece of it going in? Just off the 2? Okay. Boy, you've got to be careful here. Feel like Filler can kick the top side of the 2. Might not be free though. Now taking a look at his options with the 4. Tell you what, the 4 doesn't look terrible if he could stick behind the 11 at 3. I like what he's doing. And I will state it for the record, Filler has beaten Tony Chohan both times for the money. If you don't think he knows how to play the game, you are mistaken. And when he starts to play a little bit of defense, well, a guy like myself really enjoys it because it just tells me how much more he knows about the game than we tend to think. Hell, did it find a gap? It did find the gap. That could be painful. Then a glance at the 11 and 15. I don't think there's anything there, but there's definitely something there with the black 8. Does the 10 pass the 13? I don't know, but first things first, just get the black 8 down. See the hitch there? Or the pause in the backswing? It's when the cue is all the way back. And I'm talking about it, you know, because more and more players are getting away from that. Now you're forcing that back arm to actually do a little bit of work. Watch the cue here. Right there. There's the pause. What happens is that back arm and that hand is now forcing the cue to make the movement versus a natural movement, like a pendulum. There's nothing wrong pausing at the cue ball. And it works for Anthony. Definitely not picking on him, but I think that he has so much potential. He might consider maybe making a slight adjustment in that swing. I do get it, trust me. We develop habits and they're very tough to get out of. And what works for some might not work for others. I know one thing. Filler needs to come off the bottom of this 6 and get below the stripe over there. And he's done great. Yeah. It's the 13 play off the 14 here. Or is it too risky? Not sure where the 14 is going to go. Yeah, I think you can soft kick to the 12 here, or excuse me, the 10. The only thing that Anthony doesn't really want to do, he wants to keep the pressure on Filler, meaning keeping the balls towards his pocket, maybe keeping the cue ball in this lower right corner somehow if he can. Very good. Keeps him off the 10, unless he's found a gap, which would really be kind of brutal. I believe the gap is available. This is where the jump cue comes into play. Get that thing out. Knock that cross corner in, get position on the 15 and run out. My only question with the jump cue is if it can get you out of trouble playing rotation pool and other games, then why is it not usable one pocket, especially if you're trying to speed the matches up? It's really that simple in my opinion. I'm not a jump cue fan, but if you can use it, these other situations to get completely out of trouble and win games after a good defensive play, then why couldn't you do it playing one pocket? Instead of kicking to the 6 here, is there a possibility of just rolling the 7 out towards the 2 and sticking behind the 14? Is that necessary or not? I think this could get dangerous if you don't hit it well. Yeah, can Josh see the stripe, the 10? If he can, might be able to do something as far as bank it towards the 15. Another effective shot for everybody at home is just to tick the bottom side of the 6 and leave him parallel with the cue ball, right? Just leave him flat directly under the 6, almost like they're glued together. Takes a great touch, but it's a shot that's very effective that a lot of players overlook. Someone like Chip Compton, Joey Gray, the old school guys, Paggy Lyon, even Chohan will recognize that shot. Jeremy Jones, they'll definitely see it, recognize that sometimes that shot will really do wonders. I'm just talking about soft rolling to the bottom of the 6. He's going to come up to the 7. I don't hate it. No rail. But he's done the job, really. Oh boy, there's a good shot here. Just shoot the 14 into the 1. Just softly trim that cue ball back onto the 7. Nothing really goes in Filler's pocket, even if you stop right there, but you want to use the 7 to cover him up. Just nice and soft now. Did very well, I believe. Boy, is it close? Can he get to the edge or the corner of the 1 there and the rail at the same time? If he can, then he might be able to somehow escape this. It's close. If he has to elevate the cue at all, I think that it's problems. Because he can catch a kiss there. Oh, look at this. Not the old point safe. Yeah, I think he tried to catch that a little bit thinner and trickle down. Got away with murder there. Off the double point. He definitely didn't play it. Would have been happy to make the 1. And from that view, maybe he was even trying to make the 1. Another look at this game. When you think you've seen it all, well, just keep your eye on the game, because you haven't, I can assure you. What about 2 railing the 6 with a high inside ball, catching the top side of the 6 and going towards the 11 with the cue ball? Just 2 railing the 6 out, going into that little catcher's mitt there with the 9, 3, 12, 11. Pretty certain you can see the top side of the 6. If that's the case, just pinch it with a little inside. Oh, you can see the bottom side of the 6. So once again, misled with the angle. I apologize. I do apologize. Clean sweep here. Semi-clean sweep. There. Okay, he's looking to go forward on this 12. Feels to me like the 9 could shorten up, that he could bank the 9 somehow, or the 15. I think you've got to really be careful here. Wow, crossing it that way was excellent. So that's a great shot by Meglino, protecting the 1. Tell you what, if Filler can cut the 12, he will. I don't know if the 4's got him snookered. I think he's looking at it. There's a lot of value to it because he goes into the 3 heavy, so he's almost guaranteed to get another shot. I believe the 4 has him covered just a hair. Otherwise, he might have already shot it. Just wants to get him on the rail here. Can he play the 3 off the edge of the 9 and just stun over just below the right side pocket here? The 3 goes towards the 15. The 9 2 rails out of Josh's corner. Or is that too risky? I wonder if that's what he's looking at now. That's kind of where I'm talking about leaving the cue ball. I'll say it again. Playing the 3 off the 9, the left side of the 9. Just stunning over to where his cue is now, maybe to the rail. Is that asking a little too much? He could just bank the 9, or excuse me, the 1 back up to his side of the table. He's got a 2-0 ball lead here. Filler owes 1. So, is it time to press the issue? Yeah, I think he's just going to the 1 here. I think that's the wise play. Just knocking it back up to your side. Just keep him off the 15. Yeah, did he find a gap? I don't believe so. Trickling off the bottom of the 6, going into the back of the 1 here. Doing quite well, keeping Josh off of anything real aggressive. The 3-9 is looming to Josh's pocket. That's why he's taking a look at the stripe down here, but yeah, the 3-9 keeping Anthony from really coming up table. Can you play the 9 off the 12 and draw towards the 6? Gonna keep it simple. Can't fault him. Uh-oh. Does the 12 play off the 9 to Filler's side? I don't think he's gonna entertain.
David O'Keefe, please come to the tournament desk.
One thing I was touching on that Meglino is great at is effort. Something that he does that's better than many of the players is his effort in the defense is as strong as the offense. And the most important thing that you have to protect in this game is that white thing right there on the right side of the table with all those red dots on it. That is the cue ball. Whereas in rotation games, well, pocketing the ball is as important or more important than the cue ball. Not in this game. And that's why Anthony really seems to shine. And I think his game is duly suited for one pocket as well. Known for his rotation abilities and damage he's done playing 9-ball and 10-ball, but I love the energy he puts into his defensive play as well as he does the offensive play. It's appreciated by a guy like myself. And he's kept Filler off the aggression for quite some time now. And sooner or later, a guy like Filler, or at least Filler 2 or 3 years ago, would have cracked by now and found something aggressive. So I'm also impressed with him. Really just doing what he has to keep Anthony off the shot. And this is the beauty of one pocket, where for a lot of people, they get bored, start to lose track of what's really happening. And a guy like me, well, I start to get a little excited because I recognize, appreciate, and respect the depth at which they're playing the game. Continues to protect the one, and he's done this for literally 8 or 9 innings, maybe more. Trying to marry him up underneath it. And that might change things a bit. Like to just graze off the one if he does come to the right side. It's not quite as playable now. Well, and I believe the 2 might pass. If the 2 passes, I think you've got to go here. If he can draw above the 2. He is not entertaining. He's looking up table. Boy, I tell you what, I feel like he's a heavy favorite to make the 1, but obviously if he's not shooting it, the 2 must not play. I don't think he can play the 6-11, so the value isn't there. Got to be careful bringing this cue ball up table. Don't let Filler trick you. What about banking the 11 and going into the bottom of the 2? I don't know.
Wilson to the tournament desk, please. Brian Wilson to the tournament desk, please.
Pretty good. I mean, really, really good from there. Great shot. Yeah, very good shot by Meglino there. control of the cue ball and a 4 at the same time. Things only getting worse for Filler. Can either soft kick at the 4 or come off the 13. Is he going to 2-rail kick with speed behind this ball? I think he's going to. Yeah, no rail. Filler going to 0-2 now. It was almost worth it. Things were only going to get worse, so I can't fault him for kicking behind that ball with speed. Can you just stick on the 11, shoot straight through on the 3? Send them to your side. Yeah, very good. Tell you what, Meglino giving Filler everything he bargained for so far. To many, this might be a little slow-paced, but I can promise you the true one-pocket fans understand the depth of what's happening, and I'm hoping that we gain more and more fans of the game. Filler finally taking that chance. He's only going to 0-1 now. I wouldn't be surprised if he takes the 10, even though I don't believe it's the correct play. There's nothing else really available. But I did mention earlier, sooner or later, something's got to give. Just more credit to Meglino for keeping Filler off the shot. Josh's mindset right now is, well, this is probably the best thing I'm going to have to look at in the next 6, 7, 8 innings. I might as well shoot it when it's not necessarily the right mindset every time. You can creep over here behind the 7. Well, he's overcooked it. And as we alluded, not necessarily the right shot. Looks to me like he's got enough of the 1. Yeah, did not want to fall there. I also touched on the fact there's a lot of defensive being played, and that's from both sides. The offense becomes a little more difficult. I guess I could relate it to golf. When the driver is on, the putter is off. Believe it or not, a little bit of pressure on this shot. 10 looming around Josh's pocket. Yeah. Sometimes the pause in the back is a little bit less than other times, but it's always there. Can he crash into these 4 balls somehow? I believe he tried. He'll take it. He's paid his bills for now. Now kind of got Anthony pressing the issue. I don't know that you have to go to the 15. You're still with a 3-0 ball lead. Just knock the stripe ball that's on the spot to your side and stick him under the 9. And 6, it's an option. Yeah, I don't know. Josh might have a bank at the stripe that's below the 4 or above the 4. 3-0 ball lead is still a pretty big lead. Yeah. So I think a little overlooked there as hard as he's been working, Meglino. There was no path for that ball to bank that Anthony shot. Therefore, don't quite know what he was trying to achieve. Is the double bank on the 14 and just pinch back, or is it just too risky? Looks like the 14 does go through the 11 and 9. Must not be on, or I think Josh would have already shot it. Just draw back past the 2. Very good cue ball. Nothing goes for filler. Once again, I think moving the ball on the spot is key. You don't have to come up table. You're still leading 3 balls to 1. You've done a great job at keeping filler off the shot. Don't let him rearrange things now. Not terrible, though, by any means. Yeah, he did a lot of good things there, keeping that stripe protected. Tell you what, might just have to go ahead and kick behind that stripe with a high cue ball and try and catch it full. A lot of good things could happen. You could actually open something to your side. Shouldn't lose the cue ball if you can catch it full, or just catch it with a left ball, send it towards the 4 and 3. Oh, very good speed. Very good touch there. Filler, little fun fact, he plays with a 16-ounce cue. And continuing to press the issue, and I can't blame him because he's playing a good cue ball. Did he get a little lucky here, filler? Have a gap to the 15. Sure did. Now, the 11, 14, and 9, they've always been favoring you because they don't go to filler side. Is this the time to open them up? What's the 11 going to do here? Well, now they all go in filler side with one shot. So I know Josh doesn't hate that. If he can get out of this, he can come off the 15 at minimum. Is he shooting the 3? Okay, very good. Tied him up. Thought that he was going to untie those. So now, Anthony really needs to be careful. Shot making abilities of Filler. It only takes one little mistake. Leveling out again. So he's just coming over to the right short rail, or the long rail. Pretty simple, pretty effective. Cutting the 11. Yeah. Pretty sure that's on layaway. You get yourself in trouble trying to take it out. Filler, if we're noticing a little bit of a pattern here, is creeping his way back in to this game. Well, not creeping, he is back in the game. Not that he was ever really out of it. But once again, why not just shoot the 2 and stick him to the bottom of the 11? You were doing so well keeping Josh completely off the shot for such a long time. Why don't you continue to press that point, sending the message to Josh that you're not pressing the issue. You're going to let him press the issue. It's okay. I just don't like leaving somebody like Josh any room for error there with the cue ball. And these balls, yes, you guessed it, they're starting to wedge down here towards the lower left corner. Most likely going to come off the 13 or the 4. Good cue ball. Believe it or not, these balls are definitely starting to help Filler. The 3, 4, 14, 15, none of those balls go. So if he can find something down the road here, let's see how close Anthony can get with the 13 here. Yeah. This becoming a big mess. A big old mess. Wow, is he looking at the cut on the 9? Don't know that it's time for that. You're definitely going to crash to the top side of the 15 or 14. You can 3-rail the 9 out towards like the 6 and 7 and just drop the cue ball to the top right corner. If that ball concerns you, there are a lot of other options. Is he looking to cross the 13 over and make the 15 at the same time and send the cue ball to the top rail? And what I was talking about is you can just play a defensive shot, 3-rail the 9, pass the 3 and 4. Boy, he looks like he really wants to cut the 9. And just drop the cue ball to the top right corner. Oh, well. He bluffed me all along, looking to tick off the 3. Okay. This is where I earn the big bucks. Because it is not, there's so many variables, it's not necessarily easy, especially upon different styles. It's not extremely easy to call it. But what I can do is call options. Maybe come off the 6, come over to the right side of the table here and keep him off the 4 using the 9. Just trim off the 9 here. Just gotta make sure you hit it thin. That works. Tell you what, folks, commentating is a little underrated at times. It's not quite as easy as people might think it is. And he's gotten away with one there. And I think that Anthony can 2-rail this 6 out of the bottom right. Play it nice and tight with an outside ball. I don't see a lot of risk, especially if it's a little too steep. He can go towards the 9 and 2 with the cue ball. Boy, I think it's available, especially the way the diamond plays. Is he worried about leaking behind the 10 or the 13 or something along those lines? Boy, I'll tell you what, you've been so pressing in prior shots. I think it's something you've got to take on. Oh, and he's hit it extremely well. Extremely well. Great shot by Anthony. There is a 3-railer on the 2, but you don't want to leave Josh on the backside of the 13. He will cut the 13 if he's desperate. Well, he won't cut it from there. A really good hit if you just put a little more on it. Still very good, very well done. Those are 2 big balls right there made by Meglino. Or the lead, the 2-ball lead is very big. Especially with the position of these balls, as long as he can keep filler contained. Kind of a tough player to predict. Definitely likes to look at everything. Nothing wrong with that. Still trying to learn his style a little bit. Whereas I know Filler's style a little bit more. Filler 2020 and 21 would have already banked at the 14. You can just chip the 14 if you'd like. You can move the 4. Is he looking to 2-rail the 14? I don't hate it at all if you don't think you can lose the cue ball. Just last thing you want to do is sell the 2 or the 10 out somehow. So you don't want to run into the 7 full off that left long rail. Boy, I think it's been probably close to an hour where Filler hasn't had a ball on his side of the table. Well, and he almost got one there. But he did handle the most important thing, and that's Snow. Snow resting up top very comfortably. What's he looking at down here in the lower left corner? I don't know what he's looking at here, but it could potentially be very dangerous. Uh-oh. Yeah, I just always felt like that could be dangerous. Does the 13 pass? If it does, Filler's got an opportunity to take a ball lead here. How's he going to strike this playing safe for the last 35 innings? Poorly. Very poorly. Meglino off to the races, needs 3. That ball did go. Filler had a real opportunity. It is not easy after you play defense for such a long time. Jack Cooney, one of the legends of the game back in the day, used to do it for a living. He would pass up offensive shots just to get you in a position where you couldn't take the cue back. And it's a real thing in this game. That's why rarely against 2 real offensive players will you see them miss many balls, because they stay in some sort of an offensive flow. But when you get an offensive player versus a good defensive player, well, then you can start to see at times how the defense can affect the offensive player. Trying to come up to 3 there. I thought that was not the right decision. The 13 banked all along, and he just kind of slapped his head like, what am I thinking? Yeah, he is torturing himself now with this positional play. Really could only get one place on the 3, and you had the whole top half of the table to get on the 13. And it was such a big point as well, getting that 13 down, because Filler only needs 6. Meglino still needs 2. Looking at the 14. I like doing something with the 3 if you can cover the cue ball up. At least on the third. Oh boy. It looked like he had to catch the 3 a little thin to get the cue ball up here. All right, he's going to come back. Low outside ball, easier to make the 3 this way. Just overcut it. And it works both ways. Even the defensive guy has a hard time pulling the trigger at times because of so much defense. Definitely noted, though, a strong suit of Meglino's. I do know he's a great shot maker as well. Didn't look like he did much there, but it was pretty effective. I don't believe the 4 banks past the 13. Might have to chip off the 15 here. Nice cue ball. Very good cue ball. Makes a big difference. Gotta wonder when Filler is going to decide to pop. What I mean by that is just maybe take something a little more aggressive than he has in the past. A little interested as to why he's not looking at the 14. Even if he just wanted to tease Anthony at shooting the 3 by just dropping the cue ball down here into the lower left corner to get protection on the 13 and the 4. Not necessarily like you're playing the 14, just drop down off of the 14. Leave the cue ball down here on this bottom rail. Because the problem is, if you leave Anthony the 3 and he mishits it, he could leave a cross corner. Doing something with the 15, I don't know how you protect at all. It was actually pretty good. He is good with the cue ball. Definitely a strong suit in this game. One pocket is his defensive play, protecting the cue ball and the object ball for Meglino. And I think it's obviously the right way to play Filler, if you think about it. I don't think you want to try and battle Josh with all offense. Good with the cue ball again.
All right, can I get Jacob Joel to the tournament, please? Jacob Joel to the tournament.
Well, it was kind you almost felt it coming, really only a matter of time. Or Josh had to take something. That's how good Anthony's been on the defensive side of this. He's got to look at the 4 or the 14. The 14 payoff might not quite be there. Jeez, he's going to pass the 14 up and a 4 here. The problem is, if you tried to drop down below the 2 or the 3 and you don't make the 14, you could leave Josh straight in on either one of those balls. In the blink of an eye, he's right back in this game or winning it. I'd consider doing something with the 4 here for sure, even if it doesn't go. Yeah, he did good with the 7 though, so that's nice. Great shot by Anthony. Definitely the higher power here in the moving. I felt that way in game number 1 as well. Just a couple of little things slipped away from him. Yeah, look at this, forcing Josh to come off the 4 now.
You want to break this one? Third time to try.
Coming up and down.
Take it.
Pretty effective, moving both balls. You just want to cross the 7 over here. Or is he actually trying to? Yeah, I think you've just got to cross this. Wow, I was a little bit surprised that he would take that on with a 6-2 lead, but he felt good about it. I just don't want to force Filler into shooting. Can he cut the 9 and go 1-2 for the bank on the 7? I know it's a big ask, and he's not shooting it. Wow, what an extremely great hit that was. Holy mackerel. Catching the 7 square in the face. Stopping the cue ball like he did. Not easy. But take note, he's definitely got Filler thinking a little bit more defensive minded, kind of playing into Anthony's game most of this rack. So if you ever want to know how to stay in there with Filler, well, it's very simple. Just keep him from getting a good shot. Easier said than done. Is he in a trickier position than I think here? Starting to get a little cross-eyed myself. Boy, I think the 4 is dangerous. It is, I don't think. I know it's dangerous. It turned out to be one heck of a shot by Josh Filler. Well, this could end up very good or very bad if he's playing the combination bank. Well, once again, that cue ball under control. And it is numero uno in this game. And then, you know, we just had another tournament, the bank pool tournament. Filler made it to round number 9. And he did play to lengthen that ball out. Well, you could not hit that any better. I think that Anthony actually dodged a little bit of a bullet there, because Filler might have had a good look at the 15 and could have tucked under the 4. It's possible anyway. Yeah, but Filler made it to round number 9. Lost in round number 5 to Steyer and Gorst. In the final round, he lost to Gorst, which is round 9. Maglino, well, he made it to round number 8. Lost to a couple of guys that I haven't heard of. Clay Carmen, Stephen Nevins, so they must play pretty decent. You can assure that he's going to take this 7 on. And he's overcut it. Easy to do. And Filler now with 3. Well, I believe he's had enough of this. Is he going to cut the 9? I'd be shocked if he doesn't. He's passed it up a few times. But when you're this close to the ball and you shoot like Filler does, it's definitely judgeable. He could also, believe it or not, get behind the 7. If I had to tell a straighter, come below the left side pocket, above the right side pocket, drift down to the 2nd, 3rd rail below the 7. Well, just like that. This was always the risk. Look at how he plays this ball. Really, with a flat top cue ball, just lets it naturally carry the line that it's going to take. You know it's going to get back there behind the 7 some way, somehow, if you just put the speed on it. Yeah, I don't know what he did there. Did he try to fall better on the 15, or was he looking to fall on the 4 and 3? Just overhit it. Well, he's got to be thrilled. He's within 1 ball and been really painfully trailing this entire game. So just when you least expect it, Anthony a little aggressive on the 7, leaked the 9, Filler into the game. Just gonna come off the 3 into the edge of the 2, get the 3 over. Yeah, that was the problem. If you don't get the 3 over enough, you know Josh could cut it. Not saying he's gonna cut this. Just ended up pretty tough. I wouldn't be shocked if he 2 rails at it, though. Yeah, I don't know. You've got to hit this pretty hard to get the 3 to your pocket off that 2nd rail. A lot can go wrong. Nothing wrong with banking the 2 to the right side, towards the right side of your table. using the 3 as a protector. I don't think the 3 banks cross corner. Yeah, the problem with 2-railing the 3 is the cue ball's probably going to get a little airborne. If that does, it's going to take pace off the 3. And more than likely end up somewhere mid-table up there. So it's not really worth it. The only way you could really 2-rail that ball is if you stayed level and followed forward. I like this play. I think the 3's a big ball to keep him covered on the 2. If Filler comes back to win this game, it will be a heartbreaker for Anthony because he's put so much effort into the game. Got to get the 2 to your side. You got to get it to your side. Did pretty good there. Think he wouldn't have minded it coming over another foot. This is a great hit off the corner there. Really just below that right side point, the lower point. That could be a big moment in this match. Is the 4 just awkward? Love to have had the cue ball. Another rotation to the left. Pretty good speed there too. It's going to keep Filler on the defense. How do you keep Meglino off this 3 ball? That's really the question. Does he think he can go forward and end up behind the, or between the 4 and the 15? Is it time to do this? You can lose the game with this shot quickly if you miss-hit it. Don't let up. You've got to stay through it. The cue ball's really most important here. But you can leave a cross corner on the 3. See how he hits it. Yeah, you can leave this cross corner. If Filler knocks this down, I mean, boy, he's got a bank on the 4 as well. He could just draw behind the 3. Big time value here. Is he worried about leaking the 3 out? I think he's got to play the 4. Just make sure you get underneath the 3 here. You can still play this pocket speed as well. You don't have to hit this real hard the way it lies. You've just got to stay low to the cue ball. Just scared to leak the 3 out. And that's all a matter of maybe coming up just a tip on the cue ball, leaving the cut. I feel like the 4 is the play. all about the speed there because he did leak the 3 out. Well, I feel like maybe wasn't quite the right time to shoot the 3 if you're Meglino after all of the work he has put into the game. Filler looking to steal. Yeah, definitely looking to steal there. Now this is more of a tip of outside to where you can catch the 15 heavier and just straighten it out. It makes the pocket a little bit bigger, whereas a lot of people want to shoot this with inside. That puts the wrong English on the 15 and tightens the pocket up. And he is going to use a tip of outside. Oh, and Heartbreak Hotel for Meglino as Filler steals game number 2 and takes a 2-0 lead. And that can really be disheartening. After all the work he put into that game there, and all the work I put into that game, to give it up and taking that straight back, a little heartbreaking. And so, you know, credit to Anthony keeping a guy like this off the shot for so long. At this level, it doesn't take much for a player like Filler to find something. And obviously it doesn't take long when a player like Filler does find that something. And that's really just kind of the case of what happened when Filler cut the 9 and came back and forth 2 rails behind the 7. It kind of put the pressure back on Anthony. And I think that's why he took the 3 on. Neither here nor there. Filler needing 1 game. Meglino, well, he just needs to win a game to start to get the feel. And this isn't a good way to start it out. I think he's going to have to kick at the 10 or come off the stripe near the bottom rail. Coming off the 12 is okay. It's just a little easier to lose the cue ball here. Oh, he was natural behind it. My apologies. This angle, a little tricky at times. I wouldn't be surprised if Filler continues to press the issue, doesn't want to get drawn into the defensive game, even though he's leading 2 games to 0. He can't afford to come up to the top or come down here to the bottom right corner. Whether he chooses to go rail first on the 1, or if he thinks he can bank the 1 towards the 10, I don't believe that that's available. He can also just come off the edge of it. Is he looking to 3 rail this? Yeah. Okay. I didn't think the kiss was avoidable by any means, but played a little trick shot into the lower right corner pocket. We call that a timing shot. The Trick Shot World Championships, that would have taken first place. But here at the Derby City in a 1 pocket, all it does is spot up and you shoot from here. Can Anthony cut the 12? Is he looking at it? Both players might be fed up with the defensive side of the game at this point. I know Anthony needs to make something happen. I also know he is a great shot maker. Got a little smirk on his face due to the trick shot by Filler. And the smirk quickly dissipated. Soft kick to the back of the 10 is an option. It's going to do something with 3. Try and cross the 10 upwards. And just stop or draw. Well, it's going to work, I believe. Yeah, it's gonna work. Can you play the 11 off the 12? Sending the 12 back up table or back down table and send a cue ball one rail towards the pile. And that's what he's looking at now. 11 off the 12, drawing one rail. Oh, he's going to go forward 2 rails towards the pile. Pretty cute. Pretty cute. Completely cut Anthony off of the 6 and 13. Really looking at the 4 and 7. I guess, I mean, boy, I don't think you shoot this shot unless you think that you can really gain something going forward with it, meaning if there's anything coming afterwards. It's typically a last-ditch effort. Something I've noticed Anthony overlooks is the one-rail kick between the 11 and 13, almost as if you're just taking a foul. He's not really shot that shot. It's come up once or twice prior. Now, I can't argue with him if there's something real good here, but I just don't know where the defense is and where he can get cover on the 7 if he gets it close. I guess what I'm saying there, guys, is, and gals, is that you put the cue ball on the wrong side of the stack, it's typically last case or worst case scenario. They're going to do something with the 6. He can play it towards the 11 and just tuck up behind 12. Yeah. Trying to come off the left side of this ball. Really touchy if that's the case. Did great. Oh boy. And tied the 11 and 6 up. So that's a bonus. Oh, look at this cue ball. Wow. Put some extreme high karate on that one. High inside. Once again, he does have the 2-rail kick towards the 6. Heavily elevated this time. No good. Came behind it and opened the 6 up. Boy, there is a good kick to the top side of the 13 here. The catcher's mitt being the 4 and the 1. Really hard to lose the cue ball if you catch the top side of the 13. It's almost impossible. He caught about 50% or half of the ball instead of the top side. Still turned out just fine. potentially very dangerous. Strike two. So Anthony now owes two, I believe. Just like to tuck him right back where he's been. And he did good at it. Filler motioning. You are on two. Three fouls is a loss of game, so he needs to get a rail here. Three consecutive fouls, I shall say. So he escaped that. Rarely will you see somebody three foul playing one pocket, but it does happen. Just across the face of this 12. Lay him over here towards the right side. Could come all the way down, but I think it's better to just lay him, yeah, like so. Going forward on the 4. No fun. Man, pretty good though. Got a good rub off the 6-11. Up down to the lower right again. Cut off here pretty good from the 11 and 6. Can see the 4. Sheesh, really pretty nasty here. Did very well. That's a really awkward shot playing one pocket. You just don't see it too much. Uh-oh, going off the 2. Moving more and more. Anthony gonna need to take a chance at some point. Otherwise this nightmare is only going to get worse. By the looks of it anyway. Well, this young man must have just scratched.
Brutal, I hate this game.
Or possibly three fouled. Whatever it was brutal. He's got a one-rail kick towards the back of the 11. Actually, to the second rail, I would assume. It's not a bad play. Wow. I'd say he did quite well there. Great shot by Anthony Meglino. Fielder would love to get him back up this lower right corner. How do you do that? Can you shoot through the 12? Just coming off the 4. Well, look at that. Talk about good speed. Now Anthony can kick to the back of the 11. So I'm a little surprised you just laid him over there like this. Well, I guess this tells me he could kick to the backside of the 11. Very thin off the 2, bringing him all the way down. Problem for Filler is everything is awkward there. The 13, 6, 11. Can Anthony find something like maybe the 10 and just send it to your side? Maybe use the 3 and 14 as protection instead of really focusing on protecting against all those balls down there on Josh's side. Look at get something to your side and find some cover. Yeah, I don't know that he's even looked at the 10. Not that you can make it to bank it. I mean, bank it to make it, but you could bank it between 14 and 1 and use the 3. Yeah, this is really just going to bide your time. I believe, anyway. Gritting my teeth as he played that shot. Now I don't think he can get anything to his side and find cover. And it's just going to get worse. Oh boy, is he just thinning off the 1 again? Or the 9? Wow. I'll tell you what, respect to his patience. What an odd game this game is. Well, one pocket is an odd game, but this particular rack, and including last rack, been very interesting. The more I commentate, the more I learn that I have not seen it all, even though at times I believe I have. It's now looking at the 14, and I cannot fault him. Just don't want to hit the 10. You're better off hitting the 8 than the 10, that's for sure. That one little lonely ball over there on Anthony's side makes a world of difference. Wouldn't be shocked if Filler 2-rail kicked to the top side of the 14. There is a big reward. Caught it just a tick thin, but I would consider banking the 10. It's just going to bank the 14 up and suck down behind the 11. here we go again. Miller going to cross the 14, come down to the lower right, keep everything cut off again. Anthony just going to go forward on the 9. How's he trying to smash and grab? Oh, looky here. He did the old smash and grab. Stunned the cue ball forward. He is extremely good at the cue ball. Extremely good. What about one rail kicking to the 13? Huge benefit to it. Oh, he can see the 2. Aye. Aye. Okay. Things quickly changing shape here. Would assume he wants to come off of the 6. Did he actually look at cutting this ball? Oh, that just surprised me a little bit. Try and drop the cue ball to the rail. Yeah. So there was the quick stroke. I don't even know if he wants to make that. Can't bank the 13. I'm sure he's got many other options as well. (14-1-2-7) combination. Just bring the cue ball up towards the 13 or somewhere where it's at now. Yeah, now he's looking at the 13, and this is kind of the line that I thought you could just bank it towards the back of the 2 or the 7. Just don't overhit it, leak it to Anthony's side. Yeah. Tied the 7 and 13 up. Going forward on the 14. Wow, look at this. Ha ha ha. Take the pot. The 14 moved the 2, which the cue ball was tracking towards. Cross this over or 2 rail it to your side. I think just crossing it over is the safe play. I tell you what, the 4 is a big ball. If you could just lay it up on the right long rail over there, just tucked behind the 7 and 13. That 4 could pose some problems in the future versus trying to make it do anything real wild, as good as he's been with the cue ball. Just don't know if it's available to even roll it to the right long rail in between the right side pocket corner, his corner. Scratch might be available, that's the concern. So he might be attacking here. Oh, and he is attacking. Look at this hit. Wow. He is a shot maker. Touched on it. What a great shot. He's got to look at the 7. Playing for 9, owed 2, beginning of this. Now owes 1. Well, he's got to look at the good look at the 12 now. Can pinch back and get on the 13, plus the ball that spots, or the 2 balls that spot, I think might cover everything up if he doesn't make it. Actually in a pretty good position here. This is all about pocket speed. Oof. Like the way he did get off the ball there. Yeah, he's overcut this. And it looked to me like he was aiming really thin on it. Made some type of an adjustment when he was initially down on the ball, or when he got back down on the ball, went really thin to it. Well, that's a big error. Filler doing everything he can to get Anthony back in this match. Yeah, can he get up there through the 9 and 5? Even somehow rub into the 8. I think the 9's going to cover him from that, but let's see. Long reach. Oh, look at this speed. Look at that speed there. Wow. That was perfect. Now he can draw back through the 8. The 1 does play next. Thought he might try and draw that back a little bit more versus just stop on the 8. Because if you get a little straighter on the 1, then you might be able to manipulate the 13 or the 9. I don't know. You could do something a little bit more here. Anthony leading 2 balls to 1 all of a sudden. Was trailing -2 to Filler's 1. Yeah, good effort. Very good effort. And this is where you might want to pump the brakes just a bit. Really don't want to veer from your game plan. You've done very well at keeping him off the shot. Just let it loose a little bit one time or two times. Continue to frustrate Filler on the defensive side. Nothing wrong with knocking the 13 up to your side of the table. Yeah, forcing yourself to shoot this 15. Got a 3-1 ball lead. We're trailing -2-1 here. Is it necessary? And Filler broke. Not only did he break, he broke him extremely well. And he just really wants to shoot the 15. And where's the future? He's too steep to get position on the 13 here. I believe anyway. And you're just going to leave the 9 somehow, some way, unless you can really... Yeah, I just didn't feel like the angle was correct to go forward. So I thought if he did shoot it, he had to draw back towards the back of the 9. So that's going to sting. What's Filler got in mind here? Just drop below the 13. Oh, he decided to go into him. Very naughty. Did he get anything? Oh, if he could play the 13 and 11 and nudge the 4, it's devastating. Or the 11-13. Yeah. Just going to bury him up behind the 1 using the 4. Could have been a lot worse for Anthony, though. Wow. Problem with coming down here to the lower right corner is you might leave a cross corner on the 11 that's some type of free. Filler looking to possibly entertain the 1 off the 7 towards his pocket. I think that's asking quite a bit. Just don't know that it's on real well. He's looking at 3-railing the 11 now. What about just laying, coming off the 13, maybe trying to wiggle it open a little bit, laying him down here on this right bottom diamond. Kind of in between where the cross is good on the 11 and where if he shoots the 7, the cue ball's tracking towards the 1. So if you could get him on this diamond just right of the center diamond down here, might be okay. even if you come off the 11 and do that. Yeah, very good. Situational awareness is at its peak for Filler. That was literally about the best spot you could put the cue ball in that situation. Now here, if he's going to cross the 11, I don't think you cross it to make it. You just check it up with the high inside and cross it. Oh boy, he's elevating. Danger. Very tough. Very tough because you've got to hit it with the correct speed. Yeah, just really dangerous. Notice how easy he hit it. He didn't want to overpower that ball and really lose the cue ball or the 11. Then accuracy with that elevation becomes very difficult. Filler to the 4. Now did the 7, 111 show up? It's going to have to cut the 7 a little bit to the 1. Might get a shot on the 1 if he can get this down. Oh yeah, no problemo. Filler playing for 4. Looking at the cut on the 13. You can try and get there now, and if you don't get there, then you've got the 7. Yeah, good thinking by Josh. Doesn't like it. Gonna go to the 7. Oof. Little clip that he didn't want. He's smiling. Probably thinking, well, if I just had one more ball, Anthony might not keep me hemmed up for the next 30 minutes because he is great at the cue ball. But even Anthony at this point might feel like he's got to make something happen. All you could do there. So it was game number 2 that really slipped away. Meglino was in control the entire time, and just a lapse of concentration, maybe taking the 3 on.
Couldn't hit that any worse.
What happened there? Okay. I don't exactly know the rule, but I know at the 3-hour mark, the ref will give them a warning. Then I believe it will come down to whoever has the ball lead if this were tied up at 2 games apiece. Although I don't believe it's really going to show up. this hit. Look at this naughty little hit by the German. That was cruel. And they might continue to do this for some time unless Josh has had enough of it and wants to do something a little more aggressive. Not a fun position for Anthony to be in. At some point, he might just have to take a chance kicking to the 13. You can't blame him, because this is not going to get any better. Got to give credit to Filler. Did lose in round 6 to Evan Lunda, so he couldn't afford another loss, clearly. Meglino, well, he's got no losses. You could say he can afford. Oh, look at this shot. This could have been one of the biggest and best shots of the tournament. It's still one of the best shots so far of the tournament. Filler loved it. I loved it. Let's take another look. He almost one-railed it to his side off the point. Cue ball up into the 14 and 5 with position on the 8. I think we were all pulling for that ball to fall. That's going to be short by some margin. This is where you just always kind of want to pull for the underdog. Love to see Meglino do something spectacular here, although the cards not quite stacked in his favor. Uh-oh. Talk to it. Talk to it. Yeah, I don't know. Believe Josh can trim the 14 right on in. As long as the side is not play, he can even draw out of it if he needs to. And that's what he chooses to do. Josh playing for 1. I'll tell you what, the scoreline doesn't exactly tell you how this match went if you just looked at the end of the score. Anthony really gave him a run for his money. Both players going to advance to round number 10. Filler with a loss. Meglino now with a loss. Congratulations to Filler. I am your host, Scott Frost. Thank you all for tuning in. I hope we all learned something, and we'll talk to you soon. Have a great night.